My name is Brendan Scott, and I'm the current Vice President of Finance and Operations for UMSU. I'm in my 5th year of studying, and I'm studying biology and chemistry, hoping to graduate this year. With this election cycle, I'm running to be your next UMSU president. Yeah, the core is it's two-pronged. So the big thing we want to do is, because we don't have students on campus, is we really want to improve the union. So when students come back, that fateful day that we can all return to campus, the union is the strongest it'll ever be. So what we look to do is focus on the infrastructure of UMSU. So fix up our bylaws so that we run smoothly. Work on UC with the fire damage. We kind of have a blank canvas in UC, so we want to kind of renovate it to fit the needs of today's students. And what that looks like is bringing back the digital print center, but in a smaller form, so it's more sustainable. And that we want to actually incentivize OERs, open educational resources, advocate the university to move towards that, so we're not, students save money on textbooks, but also it just more environmentally friendly. Open up a dental clinic. Before, it's quite small. We're looking to double its size and actually have students from Valentine campus and the dentistry faculty, or college I should say, come in and actually work in that space. So it'll be students working on students. And before, the old dentist office didn't direct bill students for the UMSU Health and Dental Plan. That would be a big priority for us to have that in our own dental space. Also, clinical psychologist office. So we hope to bring in our own clinical psychologist and kind of take away some of the pressure from the 4th floor. We also want to have student business startup space open up in UC, so allow students to bring their business, rent out the space for maybe a month at a time. We also want to rebrand the hub and just update the furniture in degrees. We want to renovate all the club spaces downtown Glass. A lot of our students are really struggling financially, mentally, whatever it is. It's tough on the students, so the union has to be there for them. We look to increase the UMSU hardship funding, as well as the holiday hamper program, to help our students in need, while also advocating to the university to open up the campus library specifically for students who have a tough time studying at home. Their home environment isn't right for classes. In the meantime, we can do stuff like making sure the university has the mental health resources that are offered to students for free. It's including the tuition on every syllabus. So that'd be a goal of ours, is to get the university to tell all instructors to have that in the syllabus. But yeah, overall, those two things help students now. Programming on our end, UMSU didn't have the greatest programming this past year, just because it was new to us. We didn't know how to run completely online marketing, but now we've had a year of seeing what we can do better. As the Vice President of Finance Operations, it's kind of like the closest thing to a Vice President of UMSU. You're pretty much the right-hand man or woman of the President. So this year, serving under Jolene, I've learned a lot. I'm the next person up to chair Executive Committee. I sit on all the committees that UMSU runs. I'm with Jolene, the President and Governance Committee. I'm Board of Trustees, Finance Committee, Member Services Committee. So I have my hand in a lot of things, just like the president does. And I've just been fortunate to learn a lot from Jolene this year, and having a year of experience, I've seen kind of where the union can improve. I also, just dealing with the finances, it gives you a really good idea of what can be done, what is feasible. So overall, I just feel like I'm the most qualified, and I've learned the most, and can really help this union to maximize its potential during this coming year. Came to campus probably like a lot of students did, with just wanting to get their degree and get out. They weren't really interested in the university at all, just another stepping stone to the career. But in my near the end of my first year, I really felt that, I needed to branch out. And I was a member of St. Paul's College, and I looked towards their student council, and I applied to be their sports rep, because I was very interested in sports. So just seeing, students be happy and enjoy their time on campus got me really invested and really passionate to give back to the community. So the following year, again, I was sports rep. I ran about 6 events. I won't go into them, but I was really passionate about putting events on for members. And after that, I ran for vice stick of St. Paul's, again, just so invested. The year after that, I actually ran for 2 positions. I ran for the senior stick of St. Paul's College, but I also wanted to get involved in my home faculty and the science faculty. So I ran for SSA UMSU director and won that position. So, I kind of saw UMSU as like another opportunity to give back to students. And just with all my experiences from running all the socials for St. Paul's, dealing with their finances, but at the same time being on the board and dealing with governance, I thought the VPFO role was perfect for me. I could deal with both the finances, but also the operations. And here I am today. I think the most pressing thing about campus, besides the fact that we're not there, is maybe there's a worry that students won't come back fully to campus. It's going to be hard once we are allowed back on campus, whether students really want to get back on campus. I think there'll be a lot of people set in the fact that they've been at home for so long, over a year's time, that they actually won't want to enjoy university. I think a lot of people will go back to the mindset I had in first year, which was get your education and get out. A policy that we do have is called seamless transition to campus, and it's going to, once safe and we're able to do so, it's going to promote students to come back and have the union show students that it's not just about learning, it's about gaining experience, meeting like-minded people, enjoying your time while you still can. So what we do is, again, when safe, and it's just running events in our libraries, handing out food from our businesses, or running small little get-togethers or meet and greets, just running UMSU oriented stuff that kind of promotes students to come back on campus. So even just this past year, we recognized the fact that there's no UPass, that it would be a waste of students' money with not many people using it, as there was no campus classes, or very few campus classes. But we did recognize that there were still a lot of students who were very much in need of transit. And whether they still had in-person classes, and a lot of Bannatyne students did, or there was just some classes that you had to do on campus, whether it was a lab or some kind of in-person teaching. We recognized that, and we supported students by actually doing a transit subsidy. And I specifically did that this year. If that is needed, again, we are unsure about the UPass. We're unsure if we're going to be on campus in the fall, but I plan on bringing that back because, again, so that on top of kind of what I mentioned before, increasing the hardship funding. Hardship funding is usually set around $5,000 to $10,000. I want to really make sure that every inquiry that comes in is being looked after. And there's just so many more because of COVID. Before, in the normal year, you maybe had a few students saying that, like, just going through a tough time right now, I can't pay for tuition. With COVID, lots of people have lost their jobs. Lots of students are unable to get their part-time jobs now. So we really have to look after those students so that they can focus more on their schoolwork rather than when the next meal's coming. Yeah, again, it's about renovating our spaces again, so students want to come back to campus, but UMSU has to have a big role in actually running events that sees students' desire to be a part of them and actually show up to campus. And things like bringing the UPass back, and having resources like advocating for flex parking spaces, having ways of actually getting to campus easier also goes hand in hand with that. Overall, no matter what, we're going to get through this difficult time. The union is here for you no matter what. And we just hope that, you're following along to access everything that the union does, whether it's the online programming or the mental health resources, your health or dental plan, the transit subsidies. We're here for students. And on March 4th and 5th, I hope you vote for Renew UMSU.